Hi guys, in this video I'm going to give you a review of the 10 things you can do to really change your business culture in 2023. If you want help with how to change your business culture or how to take your business through a significant period of change, please go to either cultureproud.com or changeproud.com and subscribe to my channel where I talk a lot about business transformation, change management and cultural transformation. So these are the 10 things that I think any business should really focus on if you're looking to change your culture. Number one, your business values. If you haven't got business values, take the time to articulate the 4 or 5 things that really mean something to you as a business, that you really want to stand for, that really represents the way you expect people to go about doing their work, your ways of working, your impact on the world, your purpose, what you value as a business. Articulate them, make sure they're clear down to the behavioural level, and then really spend time embedding them in the business. So that's number one, your values. Number 2, hiring. Make sure you're recruiting for people who have the right culture fit for your business. So when you know what you really want to be about, what your culture and your values, really stand for as a business, what's important to you about how people behave, how they work, you really need to go and identify people out in the market who are the right culture fit for you. So that's not just their skills and knowledge, that's their attitude, that's their personality, their traits, the things that are important to them, whether their values are in line with what you value as a business. Really make sure that's fully incorporated into the recruitment process. So it's not just the job description, it's the interview questions, it's any other assessment approach that you use, it's who across the business, might do second or third interviews for someone to make sure they're a real culture fit. And are there any other things you want to do, like bring them in for the day, to spend the day with the team, out on a social with the team, something to really make sure. So really make sure you're hiring the talent of the future that is the right culture fit for you. Number 3, performance. So this is actually managing the performance now, the current existing performance of people in the business in a way that aligns with the cultural expectations and behaviours that you have. So if you say your values are and the culture that you want is one thing over here, but actually the metrics and the performance criteria that people are rated on in terms of their performance reviews and whether they're doing a good job haven't really changed to reflect that, then you're not going to get a change in behaviour that you want. And what gets measured gets done. So you really want to make sure it's not just about the what in terms of KPIs and metrics, it's how people go about doing their jobs and whether that level of performance is in line with what you expect from a cultural expectations standpoint. So from values and behaviours. So it's not just the what, it's the how. And obviously along with that then, that might lead you to need to look at where you might have some difficult decisions to make around your current employee base and people who are there because they've been there for a long time but are no longer necessarily the right culture fit for you as a business. And then that comes down to difficult performance conversations and people that you might need to manage out because they're no longer right for you and they're not going to be around and suited to the purpose you've got if you're trying to change your culture, over time. Number 4, leadership. So this is really about where you look at the leaders in your business and spend some time with them, figuring out how they can best make sure they really role model the cultural beliefs that you have or the culture change that you want to see. What role are they really playing? How are they setting the tone at the top for employees to follow and figure out some of the real tangible things they're going to do, the things they're going to be held accountable for to make sure that you're seeing the changes that you want in the business around behaviour. You've got to hold these guys account at the top. They've got to really be leading in a way that demonstrates that they are committed to and are adopting, whatever changes you're trying to put in place to create the culture that you want. Number 5, your physical work environment. People often overlook this, but for example, if you've got an office where people tend to come in, but they're head down on laptop, very kind of siloed on desk, so there's not much talking, and you're trying to make a culture that's much more about sharing ideas, collaborating, trying things out and testing things and then failing fast and moving on to the next thing and working in that kind of environment, then your physical working space where people come and spend time each day, or not as the case may be, is going to have a big impact on that. So really look at the work environment physically. Is it conducive to the behaviours you want to see? Is it encouraging people to work in the right way? And how do the working patterns around that, support it? So are we saying, we do some remote working, but every week, 2 days, we expect people to be in the office. And on those days, they should be, mixing with colleagues more. whatever it is, really think about those working patterns and the physical environment that people sit in. Number 6, team development. So this is really around, what are you doing that continues to develop the right behaviours and knowledge and skills in the business that helps teams to grow and develop in ways together that represent the culture that you want. So take time with the teams that you've got out of the business to give them some of that, devoted time to their development, devoted time to looking at how they work together as a team, ways of working, what they need to better support them in their role, where there might be key learning gaps. You've really got to kind of do your team development activities to build teams that are stronger in a way that's aligned with your culture, and almost base it on that basis. So, this is where we really want to be. This is what's important to us as a business. These are the behaviours that we really represent, and therefore here's how we're going to start to work differently together in teams. Number 7, your org structures. So this is quite processy, but this is really looking at what kind of hierarchies, spans, layers, structure do you have in the business right now, and is that again supporting the culture that you want? So if you want a culture that's all about people being empowered, people being really collaborative, but you've got really hierarchical organizational structure where decision making, is often only done at the highest levels, then again, that's really not helping to create the kind of behaviors and cultures that you want. So really do have a look at your org design and your org structure and your team layouts and where people sit and how teams and groups and functions and whatever it might be talk to each other, whether that in itself is helping drive the culture that you need, or if it's actually inhibiting a lot of the things that you're looking for. Number 8, process. Now this is a really broad one, but just have a look at the big processes that operate within your business. And you're never going to be able to kind of cover all this at once, but just take time to identify where there might be key areas that really, if you really changed and optimized those, or if you took some of the clunkiness out of them, it could really make a difference to the way people behave and therefore the culture that you want to create. People often overlook, process in normal sense, and actually a lot of the processes we kind of have to abide by in business, in day-to-day business operations, are the things we fall back on when we're basically saying, we can't do this. Actually, the reason we don't have a culture like this is because we've got all this process over here that doesn't help, and you want to stop that to the degree that you can. So you want to look at where are the big things that we could make some positive changes to now. And that links to number 9, which is technology. Technology and process often go, hand in hand together. What technological, benefits or changes could you bring in now to again help with the kind of culture that you want? So again, there are so many great, platforms and apps now that help with communication, with knowledge sharing across teams. There's just tons of it. And it's incredible how many businesses don't really use them in the way that they can, to speed stuff up, to help teams share knowledge, to help with learning, to help with collaboration. Again, just really looking at where are we just not getting the best out of our technology here? Where is that, again, potentially inhibiting behaviours that we want that's going to help to create the culture? And finally, number 10, thinking more broadly around the kind of impact you want to have on society, on the world, on the environment, your sustainability agenda, that type of thing. What are the things you could be doing there? Are there any initiatives you want to get involved in as a business, things you might want to sponsor, awards you want to go for, something that helps you to start to lay the path for things that you feel are going to be best at representing your business in a different way, to help people view your business, your culture, your brand in a different way, as you're trying to change going forwards. Thanks for watching. More help on culture change, please visit culturepal.com, and thanks for watching.